Hey guys, and welcome to another video. With MW2 coming out and everything that's like basically going on with the whole Call of Duty scene, I wanted to make a farewell video to Cold War. It may have not been as big for a lot of people like MW 2019 or like an original Call of Duty game like Black Ops 2. It still has a small special place in my heart for a couple reasons. Now, the game definitely wasn't perfect. There was a lot of problems. Balancing was an issue at first in the alpha. If you look at this gameplay, you can see that snipers were absolutely stupid fast, like Black Ops 2 fast. And I think it's funny that people were still complaining about snipers in Cold War later on and getting them nerfed repeatedly when they looked like this in the alpha. Now, they immediately got nerfed when the beta came out, and the alpha was only up for 2 days. But I got to play the alpha for 2 days, and it was a blast. I basically stayed up for like 30 hours and played it a bunch because I wanted to be able to play it before the game came out. And I actually ended up dropping 2 nukes in the alpha. And getting a nuke in the alpha with the game only being out for 48 hours was really impressive to me, and it was a very amazing experience to be able to do something like that, because there was only a handful of people that did that in the alpha, and especially in the first couple hours of it being up and everything. And as you can see, there's gameplay here that I'll show you of me getting the nuke. But like I said, the game wasn't all rainbow and sunshine either. Once they started nerfing the snipers and they started balancing things and adding cool game modes back, like one in the chamber and stuff, the game, it was in its prime, and it was in a good sweet spot. Now, I can't speak too much on Respawn. I mean, I do have quite a bit of time on Respawn in this game, because I grinded for Dark Matter, which Black Ops 4 and this game were the first games I got Mastery Camos for, so that's another reason why it was a very special place in my heart. But there was still a bunch of problems. First of all, let's talk about perk greed. Now, perk greed is a cool concept, but it was absolutely broken. Sure, there was other wild cards that allowed you to add max attachments on your guns and 2 lethals and stuff like that, but when you compare that to perk greed, it was no question to get perk greed unless you're making a really weird specific class for like overkill, or if you're trying to get max attachments on a gun but you don't need all those attachments. And the problem with that is people would typically run flat jacket and tac mask. Now, those two together are very strong. Too strong. It basically makes any of the stun grenades or flash grenades basically useless, because 99% of the people are using tac mask. The few people that aren't are using flat jacket. Now, this isn't technically a problem when it comes to like balancing issues if you were to play the game normally, but when you go for camos, it's a big problem. For example, the RPG and the M79 and that one other launcher, I forgot the name of it, the Sigma maybe is its name. It takes, no joke, 3 rockets to kill someone with flat jacket. That wouldn't be a problem if some of the launchers required double kills. Now, basically the only way you were getting double kills is if you were going to hardcore, and even in hardcore, it took 2 rockets for you to get a single kill. So you either had to get a crazy quick 2 rockets out, get 1 kill, and shoot another rocket, and hopefully get a second. And the only way to insta-kill people with any of the explosives is if they were direct impacts, meaning the rocket or explosive directly had to hit the person. Everything in the game was so much easier than the Sigma, I think it was called. It took me like 5 days to get the double kills for the thing. The rest of the camos weren't too difficult, but it was absurd. Besides that, everything I would say was pretty balanced for the most part. There obviously was meta weapons, like there is in everything, but it wasn't absurdly broken until, I don't know if it was Season 5, Season 6, Season 7, the Marshals, the EM2, and Tech 9 came out. Now, not only were 1 or 2 of these guns absurdly broken, all 3 of them were absurdly strong. This wouldn't be a problem if they actually nerfed them. It took them, I think, 2 months for them to nerf them at all, and when they did nerf them, it barely did anything at all. I tested the weapons before the nerf and after the nerf, and it basically did nothing. The only time it did anything is if you shot someone in the toe maybe 6 or 7 times and you were hitting all toe shots. Then that like slightly lower damage multiplier that they like nerfed it with maybe would cause an effect. But it was still the same amount of body shots and same amount of headshots, and the EM2 got a range nerf, but to bring it back to exactly how it was before the nerf, you just needed to put the extended barrel on, and then it was the same amount of shots to kill as it was before the nerf. So it's like, the nerf did absolutely nothing for the game, and it was absolutely destroying it. And the crazy thing is those are still the 3 meta weapons, and it's basically kind of ruined the game. Now, one of the other worst things that I've ever had to deal with is, if anyone had to deal with this, a lot of people were. It was later on in the game, so a lot of people probably don't know about this, but there was a big problem where after a game or two, it would say failed to host connection. And when you did that, you could not start a game or join your friends sometimes, and it was impossible. You and your friends all had to restart your game, and it was like that for like a month or two, which is absurd. It was basically impossible to play like more than 5 games in a row without you having to restart the game. Like, it was game breaking. And there's definitely other things that I could definitely be upset about, but I mean, there's also more things that you can look at that are positive. It had an FOV slider, even on console, and MW 2019 didn't, and they never even added that. I don't understand why. The camos looked absolutely freaking awesome, especially the mastery camos once you unlock them. Zombies wasn't the worst thing to ever happen. Sure, it wasn't like Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 or even Black Ops 3 level, but I consider it beating Black Ops 4, whatever Advanced Warfare did, and Infinite Warfare. It definitely did better than both of those, and I mean, it was kind of fun, and not exactly challenging, but like, very grindy, especially if you're going for Dark Ether, which that camo is beautiful as well, which is BO3 OG Dark Matter. I also didn't technically play the game for almost the first year, so I didn't deal with camo glitches, and I didn't deal with like the dual revolvers being absurdly strong or anything like that. So I can't have any experience with that. But I also didn't play the first year of the game because I just wasn't playing COD at the time. I just needed a break. But that ended up getting fixed. The main problems later on is that things weren't getting fixed anymore, like the EM2 and Marshals, and they just basically forgot the game existed. But there's even more positive things you can look at. For example, the fact that the game was only in development for 7 months, and it came out like that. The game came out basically better than Vanguard, and it was in development for only 7 months. Now sure, the graphics weren't as like realistic as Vanguard, but at least the thing was playable. It didn't have a bunch of crashing errors, camo glitches that were going on for like 2 months where you couldn't even unlock the mastery camo because people couldn't unlock camos from glitches. The game was just horrible. And I don't understand why Sledgehammer keeps making Call of Duty games in the World War II setting. It's not working for them. Their only game that did somewhat decent was Advanced Warfare. And let's not forget the fact that it was basically a remaster because of how many Black Ops 2 maps there were in it. And they even brought up a bunch of Black Ops 1 maps, like Zoo, and Drive-In, and WMD. Like, they brought up so many maps from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. It was nuts, and I think it made the game. Now, I believe if I look up my stats, or if you just look up the COD tracker or my name, I have a 3-point-something KD. I'm not looking at it right this minute. And I have like 40 nukes. But honestly, most of my playtime, which you can also check, is on Search and Destroy. Which, believe it or not, I got 1 nuke in Search, which is probably my biggest accomplishment in Call of Duty, period. That's another reason why this game is very sincere to my heart. Being able to drop a nuke in Search and Destroy is not common at all. And not to boost microtransactions, because honestly, they're really overpriced and not worth the money in a sense. But some of the stuff in the store was cool as shit. Like, you had Ghostface, you had, the bunny dude from that one thriller movie, which I can't remember it, but I promise you I've watched it. It was really interesting. There was a bunch of other cool packs that they added and cool like specs on the weapon. And this is a personal preference, but I absolutely prefer the color palette of a Black Ops game or Cold War over Modern Warfare 2019 or even MW2 that's coming out. I haven't played MW2 yet. I'm playing it shortly, but I love the vibrant colors. Even if it's not like realistic and grainy and dark, it makes it so I can see things better. It cheers me up in a way. It's like the vibe it gives me is a lot better, and I just prefer it overall. The game definitely wasn't perfect though, not at all, but it's definitely probably a top 10. It could maybe squeeze like top 6, maybe top 5 if lucky. Black Ops 2 being my top and always will be. But if you played a lot of Search on Cold War, it definitely felt nostalgic in a way, and I preferred Cold War over MW 2019. Yeah, I may get a lot of hate for that, but yes, MW 2019 had better movement. It was a lot more fun to tack sprint and bunny hop and slide cancel, and it had better graphics and more realistic things. But the game also was in development for way longer, and It's a completely kind of different atmosphere and kind of game. Even though it is a Call of Duty game, it's different than Cold War. And the maps were some of the maps were just horrible. A lot of the maps were bad or way too big, and there was a lot of camping, and they took off mini-map dots for a while and then returned it, and in MW2 they're removing them again, and I don't understand what they're doing. Dead Silence wasn't a perk. There was just a lot of things that I just didn't want to get used to at the time, but now I'm going to for MW2. But I just, like I said, I prefer Black Ops Cold War. I mean, I had a lot of fun moments with my friends, and a lot of cool things that I got to do with my friends, and things that I got to experience on the game that I've never experienced before, and it was a blessing. And these friends that I'm playing with now, I met on Rainbow Six, and I never got to play a Call of Duty game with them before, and I kind of dragged them into Search and Destroy and got a lot of them into it. And now we plan on playing MW2 together, and it's the first Call of Duty game where I actually had a squad, and I got to actually, like, play with my friends thoroughly. When I played Black Ops 2 and stuff, sure, I had friends to play with, but I'd randomly just pick up 6 stacks, and we would fuck around and search, but that's all I really wanted to talk about. I could be missing something, I could be forgetting something. And if I really do forget something that I really want to mention, I'll make sure to just write it in the comments. But if you didn't enjoy Cold War, that's a personal preference. But just know that a game was in development for only 7 months. It really wasn't as bad as what you think it is, just because it's not for you. I can appreciate MW 2019 because it was an amazing game-breaking game that brought Call of Duty back to life with Warzone and everything. But it just wasn't for me per se. But I can respect it. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video of me and my favorite moments in Cold War, and I really hope to see you guys for MW2, and I really hope that we grow a lot this year, especially with Call of Duty, and hoping that I can attract more Call of Duty fans to the channel. That's really all I have to say. So thank you guys for all the support recently, and I'm sorry for not uploading as much. I just have a lot going on, like I said, with work, stuff over the summer, but I will be uploading more, and there will be more to come. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. See you guys in the next video.